Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Smith. I am Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. It's Friday afternoon, it's 12:30, which means we're live here on Facebook and on YouTube, and for the very first time on LinkedIn today with an employment market update. So we've got a jammed-packed agenda today, but because it is a Friday afternoon and it's Friday the 13th, I thought, well, maybe I should try and explain a little bit where this superstition came from. And I did a little bit of research, and I came up with this: is that on the dawn of Friday the 13th, 1307, that King Philip IV, I'm just reading it here, ordered de Molay and scores of other French Templars to be simultaneously arrested on that day. So there is a religious connection, but the bigger religious connection is the Last Supper. So I think we've got an image of the Last Supper, and this arose in the Middle Ages from the story of obviously Jesus and the Last Supper and crucifixion, in which there are 13 individuals present at the Last Supper. And obviously he died on Friday. So that's the reasons behind it. But the one that I really think that sticks with me is that because I love 1980s movies references, and that is Friday the 13th. Here's an image from it. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Friday the 13th. That lives with me a very long time. Rightio, so what are we going to get into today? Well, we're going to go with our regular numbers section, and today we're going to be focusing on the NAB Business Confidence Survey, and we'll also be exploring some of the pay cuts generally to Australia's top executives. There was an article in the AFR, which I'm going to share with you, about what exactly do Australia's top executives get paid. Some of those numbers are pretty eye-watering, let me say. We'll also be joining Amy Burton from our Melbourne team, and she'll be taking us through her latest blog, and also will give us a quick market update. We'll also be joining Kirsten Garrett with some opportunity to discuss in the Sydney accounting market. And finally, we'll be catching up with Manda Milling, who'll be previewing this afternoon's Tiara Awards. You're wondering what they are? Manda will tell you what those awards are. So if you've got any questions, obviously we can see them. They're live. So if you've got questions, pop them in the comments below, which on whatever platform that you're actually viewing us on, and we'll be able to come back to you pretty quickly. So firstly, let's now get into our regular numbers section. So the numbers this week that we'll be looking at are, firstly, the key, or the NAB confidence survey came out, business confidence survey came out, I think it was on Thursday or yesterday of this week, and it had some pretty interesting numbers. So Jaden, if you wanted to pop up onto the screen there, those key statistics. And what you can see here is, firstly, the first question you want to ask is, how confident are businesses? And confidence rose 9 points to +5. And the highest, and that's the highest since mid-2019, which is a very good sign. And how did business conditions fare? Well, conditions edged 1 point higher in the month and are now in positive territory. And which industries were most confident? Well, confidence was led by gains in recreational and personal services and construction. And there also was an improvement in most industries. Mining and transport and utilities were the exceptions, and they edged lower. So what about the different states? Well, confidence improved in the eastern states, led by gains in Victoria for obvious reasons, but declined across WA, Tasmania and South Australia. In trend terms, though, confidence remains most favourable in the west and weakest in Victoria. More specifically to employment, and if you could change the slide there for me, this will give you a better indication of the seasonally adjusted numbers for employment, and you can still see that it is below pre-COVID levels, and I think everybody who was in the employment market would understand that. I think there's a slight trend down in October, which I think, depending on where you are in the country, is demonstrative of our experience here at People to People as well. So there's been a rise out. We had a strong July, depending which state you're in, and there's been a slight tapering off on the market more recently. So now let's move to the AFR, and there was a very interesting article by Patrick Durkin, who's the boss deputy editor at the AFR. He's put together that they have their annual. They partner with an organisation to produce the top salaries for executives in Australia. So let's have a look at who they are. And here we are. You can see that CSL is at the top. Now, CSL, Paul Perrault there is number one, and he has pipped Shamara Wickramanayake at Macquarie Group. She was the first woman to head the table last year. She's now skipped back to number two with she's not doing too bad, I got to say. She's with $14.9 million in her package, but she suffered a $3 million decline, and that's the biggest decline that they've seen on these tables in their since they've been putting them together. So it was a pretty not a good year for Shamara. And then you can see the others there. Interestingly, to see the different industries that are on there: Goodman, Rio, BHP, mining dominating as well. There's an interesting that we don't have any of the banks, the top banks, the big four, on there, and I think that the outgoing CEO of Westpac was on $500,000, I think, whereas his replacement Peter King is on just over 3 million, but they didn't make the top 10. So let's see who the biggest winners and losers were in terms of salaries for the executives. If you go to the next one, so the top five were there: Star Entertainment, Rio, CBA with Matthew Common there, making getting the biggest increase, and you can see the biggest declines there. Shamara and Macquarie Group we've already talked about, and Alan Joyce at Qantas, no surprises there as well, with a $1.8 million decline. Certainly demonstrative of what's going on in the airline industry. So some very interesting numbers there. There's a link to the AFR article in the comments. I'd go have a read. It's some very interesting reading there, and that rounds out our numbers section for this week. So while I take a seat, we're going to go have a quick chat to Amy about her most recent blog and the legal market. But before I do that, let's have a look at one of the opportunities that Amy's working on at the moment.
Hi there, it's Amy from P2P's legal team. I hope you're doing well. I'd like to let you know about a client services coordinator position that I'm recruiting within an industry-leading law firm. They are approximately 100 strong and based in the 7 suburbs. They are 60 seconds away from a train station and have a car park close by. This position will be taking all incoming inquiries from new clients regarding their claims, which will include all phone calls, walk-in clients, social media platforms, and lawyer referrals. It will be the client service coordinator's responsibility to stay on top of all inquiries and ensure a one-on-one client service which is tailored to each client. This will suit a senior customer service professional with a wealth of experience taking high volume inbound calls. If you'd like to hear more about this opportunity, please don't hesitate in giving me a call on 9098 7433.
Rightio, g'day Amy.
Hello, how are you going? It's always quite funny to watch yourself.
Yeah. Hey, it seems like a great opportunity. Do you want to? I think Jaden, do you have a link for it there? We should pop that up as well. But is there anything else you'd like to say about it?
Yeah, awesome. So a great opportunity in that it's obviously in the legal industry, but will be best suited to someone that's got a wealth of customer service experience. So for many that have done like a law degree or a diploma in legal practice and just haven't quite got to the point of being able to step into the legal industry, but have worked up some great experience and some great skills in customer service, it's actually a great opportunity for them in particular to kind of blend both their experience and their academics. So yeah, an interesting one, newly created as well, and insurance litigation, kind of taking initial calls from new clients.
Very cool. And how is, before we get into your most recent blog post, I mean, how is the legal market in Melbourne at the moment now with the lockdowns being lifted, etc.?
There's definitely a build-in confidence, which is great to see, and positive. November is generally our busiest month and kind of the rush up to Christmas, and I think people are just being a little bit more patient in in kind of getting someone on board before Christmas, but there's definitely more movement, more activity, particularly in general litigation. We've got roles in insolvency, we've got positions in personal injury, and a lot of firms actually out in the suburbs recruiting more than the CBD based firms as well. So movement kind of across Victoria, which is really cool.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Well, that's not what we're here. We want to talk about your most recent blog, which was how to be an eco warrior in the workplace. A fabulous topic. What can organisations do, like easy and cheap, to be an eco warrior? What actions can they take?
Yeah, I guess for some employers, it can seem quite daunting at the idea of putting all these like initiatives together. But I think it's always worth starting small and seeing what kind of things you can implement quickly and also cheaply as well. So something as simple as getting the correct bins so that people can dispose their recycling accordingly. Not everyone brings in, breakfast, lunch and their snacks and things during the day. So, if you are popping out and grabbing lunch, it's very likely that it's going to be in plastic. So just making sure that there's bins for that, and just knowing that even for like soft plastics, that can be put into another bin, and then you can always give someone the responsibility of taking soft plastics to Woolies or Coles, whether it's once a week or once a month or something like that. But having those bins there and then educating people how to use them properly.
Yeah, very cool.
So that's one on that front. I thought of fun competitions that you can create and encourage people to get involved in as well. So there doesn't necessarily have to be some like tangible reward in money or prizes as such, but having the green champion of the week, the month, the quarter or the year, everyone loves a title, and if they can boast that they've got the green champion, that's pretty cool. And just encouraging the conversation around being environmentally conscious, I think, is key and is free.
And what about as an individual then? So what can you do? I mean, obviously, if your organisation's not taking action, what about if as an individual in your workplace, what can you do?
Yeah, well, I think this is where it starts. I think that we have to take accountability for our own habits, and we need to stop blaming other people, whether it's our employer or our community or our family. There's a moment where you have to take change yourself. In terms of in a work setting, it's how do you get to work? Are you driving? Are you the only person in that car? Are you looking at carpooling? If you are far away from your office, if you're closer by, looking at walking, using public transport to get there. And also, if you have lots of meetings kind of around the city, for example, some people will be like, oh, just jump in an Uber, it'll be quick. When in actual fact, if you left 10-15 minutes early, you could walk there and have quite a nice walk over. Having a keep cup, having a reusable bottle, they might be expensive in the first instance, but they'll literally last you years.
Well, we've had some comments from one of your workmates here saying, Amy, thanks for the straws. So metal
yeah,
straws.
I bought the metal straws this week for so the other morning it was so hot that I wanted an iced latte, and I got it in one of those like polystyrene cups with a plastic top and a plastic straw, and to me I was just like, this is game over. So I went and bought an ice tray, we've got a coffee machine, and then I got everyone metal straws, so doing that for ourselves. And also just trying to be paperless or paper light. So we use our computers day in, day out, but then we also have a notepad that we're writing things down, and it's like actually have a document there that you're writing the notes. You can auto save. It's just like a general document that you open up every morning.
Fabulous, fantastic. Well, if people want to check out that blog post, I can see that the link is there that Jaden's put in the comments. I'd definitely refer people onto that. But if people wanted to give you a call too, either about that job that you mentioned or just they want to talk about being an eco warrior, how would they get in touch?
Always welcome a call about being an eco warrior or about any job. So please just give me a call. You can catch me on my direct line, which is 0390987433, or please connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can see all of like the videos about job updates and other things.
Fabulous, fantastic. Rightio. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for joining us
this afternoon.
Now let's move on and have a quick chat to Kirsten Garrett, who's from our Sydney accounting team. And she has a couple of opportunities that she's going to talk to us about. I think specifically they are permanent accounting opportunities, but they're a little bit clandestine because we're not to advertise them. These are, I suppose you'd call them, like in real estate terms, off-market opportunities. So do you want to tell us a little bit about them, Kirsten?
Absolutely, Mark. I'd just like to welcome everyone to the broadcast, and also to let people know that we have seen a very slight uptick in the permanent accounting market this week, which is really positive. But my big takeaway is the 3 roles I'm going to run through briefly today are all in different industry sectors. So while there's been a couple of sectors that have remained strong, property, small legal firms and so on, these are from 3 different industry sectors. So I'm going to open with the first role, which is a financial controller level at the 150 to 170 plus super in the Sydney CBD. It is an SME. It's in the luxury brands space. So we're looking for someone from that sector or a retail sector as an overlay. The client does value longevity, and the client appreciates loyalty. So some good traditional values there. So if you are a hands-on financial controller, happy to manage a small team there, and you have some luxury brand or retail, we'd love to speak to you. The second role is over in North Ryde, and this is for our techie accountants out there because it's a systems accountant role. Again, with a well-known organisation, 120 to 130 plus super with a great incentive scheme attached, so a nice bonus pool available there. And the key criteria is Power BI and SQL users, Dynamics 365, so all that techie language coming out there, but with a foundation of being a CA or CPA qualified accountant as well. So you partner you sit in finance and partner the IT side as well. And the final role is back in the Sydney CBD, and it's one of those classic assistant accountants. We will most likely advertise this role as well, but for the moment, we're just acting quickly for our client. It's a 70 to 75 plus super role for someone who's at the start of their professional qualification. I'm quite passionate about this role because it reports to one of my favourite financial controllers in the market, who I placed about 7 or 8 years ago. The role itself is across month-end duties, general ledger reconciliation, some AP, but assisting with some of the tax and compliance pieces as well. So again, a genuine career learning opportunity for someone just starting their professional qualifications in the Sydney CBD. Now, James Dalton, my colleague,
I was going to say, who do we talk to? Is it you? So are you for the assistant?
I'm not running them. I just get the pleasure of being on camera. So James Dalton is the lead consultant here. His contact details will be in the comments, but because they're not being advertised, either reach out to James on his email or call him on 8270 9702, and that's Sydney, of course. And we're moving quickly, it'd be fair to say. That's probably the biggest thing to note in the accounting market. Speed to talent and speed to the market is what we're all about at the moment. And also 6 weeks until Christmas. You know the client's intentions are very, very real. So that gives you a little bit of an insight in what's feeling like a really quite nice little market to be in at the moment.
Well, it's certainly an improvement, hasn't it? I mean, there was a
100%.
quiet period there for accounting. Particularly accounting was quiet in New South Wales there for a couple of months. So
and the job seekers are finding that as well. So here's an opportunity for a little bit of activity and some positive news out there.
Yeah, perfect. I can see one of the comments is nice to see how the accounting market is going. So, yeah, it's great to see that it's on the move at the moment. Great. All right. Thanks, Kirsten. And nice to see you first time on Facebook.
First time.
We'll see. I'm sure we'll see you again. So thank you very much for that. Let's now cross to Manda Milling, who is Manda Grecia Milling. Oh, probably going to get into trouble for that. Who is
honestly.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark. It's nice to see you. And no, it's not my first time on this. My head's been on here a few times, hasn't it?
It has indeed. But you're going to tell us a little bit about the Tiara Awards. So what are the Tiara Awards?
It's a very nice way to start to round out this dreadful, dreadful year for every single person. But yes, some positive news is that People2People have been nominated into 4 categories of the Tiara Awards, which are the Talent International Annual Recruitment Awards. They're global. They're a UK-based organisation, and this is the Australian Awards, which are being awarded virtually, virtual red carpet this afternoon at 4 o'clock Sydney time. Virtually, so hopefully, fingers crossed. So we've been nominated, which I know is your next question, Mark. Where have we been nominated? So just so I've got the titles correct. So it's the Fast Track Software Back Office Support Team of the Year for all of the wonderful unsung heroes that basically keep our engine running in this business. The Best Company for Candidate Experience Award, very important, particularly in such a tough year for every job seeker. The Recruitment Industry Technology Innovator of the Year Award, which is important because we've all had to pivot pretty fast this year. And the Training and Development Initiative of the Year Award, which is still very important in this year where everything's been completely upside down, training new skills. In fact, our producer behind the scenes, Jaden Cook, has got skills today that he did not have this time last year. Did you? That's right. So
we could probably say anything about him now. He did actually make a live appearance. There he is.
That's our producer, Jaden. Yes, which is fabulous.
I forgot he can actually control everything. He could turn us off in a second, couldn't he? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. Well, that's very exciting.
To be honest. Yes, so we should have some links there in the comments regarding how you can find out about the Tiara Awards. A little bit of a blog I wrote last week with the categories, and then fingers crossed as we go live to their awards this afternoon at 4 o'clock Sydney time. Hopefully we may be able to be successful as well.
Yeah, fabulous. Fantastic. Thanks, Amanda. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Mark.
Again, and hopefully we'll see you live again soon. Well, up then this afternoon. What we're going to do is last week we had Remy from our New Zealand team over in Auckland give us a rundown of the New Zealand Top Dog. So the New Zealand Top Dog competition, the winners were announced. There were the finalists that we popped up on screen last week, but the winners were announced last week. And now we're going to show you. I'm just trying to find the notes. Here it is, the notes from Minnow. Do you want to put Minnow up on the screen there for us? There she is. This is Minnow. This is the People's Choice Award. There were 3 categories for the New Zealand Top Dog, and this is People's Choice. This is Minnow. So let me read you the comments from Minnow. Minnow is a really smart boy. He can pick up any tricks we taught him in 1 or 2 days. He can do several tricks in a row. He's truly a people person. He helps my mental health throughout depression. I feel energized and less stressed since having him around. Though it's only been just over 4 months with him, I feel that this is the best time of my life. He deserved to win this competition as he's so talented and he is the sweetest boy. And I must admit, he's very, very cute indeed. So congratulations to Minnow, People's Choice winner in New Zealand for New Zealand Top Dog. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you for joining us again this week live on YouTube, Facebook, and now LinkedIn. We'll see you again next week at 12:30. Enjoy the weekend.